Hello, for this week's discussion, I'll be talking on Codic, a behavioral analysis of expressive and receptive language involves identification of antecedent and consequence that control the different type of speaker and learner behavior. Skinner identified three separate sources of antecedent control for speaker behavior, which he listed as the motivating variable, the non-verbal discriminative stimulus, and the verbal discriminative stimulus. Based on this antecedent and consequence, Skinner developed 5 frameworks for distinguishing the different type of expressive language to include ment, tact, duplic, intraverbal, and codic. So I'll be talking on codic. What are the characteristics of a verbal operant behavior, or codic as a verbal operant behavior? Reinforcement. For codic, the response is under the function of a verbal discriminative stimulus, and the behavior is maintained by a generalized conditioned reinforcement. For example, praises, attention, social approval, but it is not by a specific consequence like getting a tangible item. With the codic, there is no formal similarities between the response and the stimulus. That is, the stimulus and the response are in different sensory modalities, for example, visual and vocal, or auditory and written. When it comes to point-to-point correspondence of the response with the stimulus, there is a point-to-point correspondence of the response to the stimulus when it comes to a codic. So each part of the response actually matches the part of the stimulus. For example, you have a letter to a letter or a word to word. Codic, there are two main types of codic. It can be textual or transcriptive or dictation. So for textual, the stimulus modality is visual and the response modality can be vocal or written, spoken. For example, looking at something and reading it out loud. And for transcriptive or transcription, the stimulus modality can be auditory and response modality can be visual. That's, writing down a word you hear from another person, which can also be dictation. Thank you for listening.